Hello, welcome to the Unleavened Shred Show, the only show where all we talk about and all we care to talk about are custom guitars, all day, every day. I'm your host, Johnny Miller, and today we'll be discussing in episode 1 the difference between maple necks and roasted maple necks when paired with an alder body on your next custom Satakoy. We'll be hearing clips from such artists as Seth Rosenbloom and Menezes. To give you a rundown of the sonic difference between the two, we'll be showing you lots of pictures to give you a view of what it's going to look like. But you know us here at LSL Instruments, tone comes first, looks are secondary. So let's hop right in and show you what we're talking about. Enjoy the show. Now, I can't think of a more traditional vintage style player that we have on our roster than LSL Instruments artist Seth Rosenbloom. He is a guy from Boston. He's a blues player. He's just a monster, a beast of a player. And what he chose for his custom Satakoy is alder body, maple neck, maple fingerboard, nickel frets. It just does not get more vintage than this. So what we're going to do is show you a couple clips so you can hear what a complete vintage style build from us sounds like in the hands of a beast of a player. So here we go. There you have it, folks. So that's alder body covered in nitrocellulose finish, and what that is it's a lacquer that's very traditional. That's the way that they did it in the old days. That's the way that we do it. We also offer poly, but you wouldn't get that tone that you just heard right there in a poly finish, because when you use poly, what it's going to do is kind of suffocate the wood, which is okay if you are looking for a modern type approach. If you're doing a metal guitar and you don't want it to be too woody, you don't want it to be too vocal, as it were, and you want the pickups to be extremely aggressive and you want the amp to do all the talking, then that's one way to go. But Seth goes traditional. We love going traditional. We'll do light checking on them to where it just opens up the body wood and allows it to breathe. Now, if you're going for something traditional, if you're just a Strat guy, or if you don't even know what type of player you are, but you know that you want a Strat style guitar, I would say just go with alder. The only other body wood that I would suggest would be swamp ash, but if you want something that's just easy to step into and easy to get used to, it's not an acquired taste, alder is the ticket every time. When it's matched with a maple neck and a maple fingerboard, then you'll get more of a bite out of your tone, and it will be much more articulate. You're going to hear everything. Now that combination, it'll tell on you, because you have nice mids and you have excellent bass response, and then add that with the maple fingerboard, and then you get that bite and that clarity, then you're going to hear every note, and that means that everybody else can hear that note. Now, on the subject of maple necks and maple fingerboards, we would be doing you a great injustice if we didn't discuss roasted maple necks. Now, this is actually a process in which the maple, it undergoes a special kiln drying process that involves heating the wood to over 300 degrees in a special kiln, and what it does is it removes the moisture from the wood. So this process vulcanizes the wood, making it stronger and lighter in weight. The big advantage to the process is that the wood itself becomes less susceptible to moisture and climate changes, and it results in a more stable and predictable piece of wood. Another benefit to having the roasted maple is that it adds a nice, tight, mean, percussive punch to the instrument. Now, we have another artist that has been just tearing it up lately. His name is Menezes. He's been around for a long time, got a few albums out. He's also been known as a very traditional type player. So you would always see him with a rosewood fretboard on a Strat type guitar. Recently, then you would have seen him since he won the International Blues Challenge. He was gifted Gibson 335, I believe. Another build that has the rosewood fingerboard. Now, when he reached out to us and let us know that he wanted to have his Satakoy neck feel identical to his Gibson neck because he's used to the 12-inch radius now, then we said, sure, yeah, let's get it done. So we start the build, we started a new neck for him, and somewhere along the line, then we had a miscommunication, and the neck wood and the fingerboard wood was actually built as roasted maple. So when he showed up the day that we were supposed to install the guitar or the new neck, then it was great because it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. He did not know that roasted maple sounded the way that it sounded, or felt the way that it felt, or had the percussive properties to it that it does. And he got to try it for the first time and fell in love with it right off the bat. So we're going to show you a clip of his recent videos, and you can hear what it sounds like in comparison to the Seth Rosenbloom video, to where you had a standard maple neck. Both of them actually have a nitrocellulose finish on the body. Both of them are Alder, and both have nitrocellulose on the neck finish. The only difference would be that on Menezes' guitar, his neck finish is nitrocellulose satin, so it's as close to raw wood as it's going to get. So let's take a listen. Wow, what a difference, folks. The proof is in the pudding indeed. So what you heard there was a lot more of a percussive nature. I would actually suggest that you go ahead and rewind it and listen. You know, he's doing alternate picking where he's using his pick and then using his fingers as well, and all of it was enhanced by the roasted maple neck. The resonance and the sustain is off the charts if you choose to go that route, and every single note was just perfectly clear. Not to say that you cannot get that with a standard maple neck, or that it doesn't exist with it, but the pronounced mids and the better bass response and the tighter attack, it all just adds up to a wonderfully amazing neck wood. I can't say enough good things about it. Now, it does have its drawbacks from a production standpoint. It's not the easiest thing to work with, but you let us worry about that. We'd like to thank you so much for being a part of episode 1 of the Unleavened Shred Show. Today we covered your new Satakoy with an alder body and a maple neck, maple fingerboard. We also covered the sonic differences when you add a roasted maple neck to the mix. We want to thank Seth Rosenbloom and Menezes for lending their talents to us so that we can show you exactly what you're getting into with either option. And we're here to answer any questions that you may have. We'll try and get back to you weekly. You can email your questions at info@lslinstruments.com. And don't forget, folks, this show is meant for you. so that you can have all the information that you could possibly need to spec your next custom LSL Instruments guitar with the confidence that you know what you're getting into. So thank you so much for being a part of this, and we look forward to next week, where we'll be talking more about roasted maple necks, but with the addition of a rosewood fingerboard. Have a great day. We'll see you next show.